You're probably scrolling through a dozen ice maker listings right now, wondering if any of them will actually fit your kitchen, your budget, and the way you use ice day to day. It's a real headache because a bad pick can sit in the corner gathering a layer of dust while you keep buying bagged ice or dealing with a clunky countertop unit that never quite keeps up. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's cut through the noise and see whether the Manitowoc CNF 0202A Nugget-style ice maker and water dispenser is the kind of appliance that earns its footprint in a home or small office setting. First off, what makes the Nugget-style format special? Unlike the traditional clear cube machines you see in most bars, Nugget ice, sometimes called pellet or sonic ice, has a softer, chewable texture that's perfect for sipping a cold drink, blending into a smoothie, or topping a seafood cocktail. If you've ever been to a fast food place and asked for the little ice, you know the tactile difference. That's the experience the CNF 0202A is built to deliver, and it does so on a scale that's more commercial than most countertop units, up to 315 pounds of ice capacity and a 24-hour production run that can churn out roughly 100 pounds of nuggets per day. The key question is whether you actually need that level of output, and whether the unit's footprint and power draw make sense for your space. Who should consider buying this machine? If you run a small office breakroom where a handful of coworkers regularly need ice for water bottles, iced coffee, or the occasional lunch salad, the 24-hour production capacity means you'll never run out. It's also a solid fit for a home that loves hosting, think weekend barbecues, game night gatherings, or a family that enjoys frozen drinks. The built-in water dispenser adds extra convenience, turning a single appliance into a dual-purpose station. For anyone who already has a dedicated space under a countertop or a pantry shelf that can accommodate a 315-pound unit, the Manitowoc can become the silent workhorse that keeps the ice flowing without you thinking about it. On the flip side, if you live in a studio apartment, share a kitchen with a roommate who already has a compact countertop ice maker, or simply prefer to buy bagged ice once a week, the CNF 0202A might be overkill. Its size is roughly the dimensions of a small refrigerator, and it weighs enough that you'll need at least 2 people to move it safely. Installation isn't a plug-and-play affair. You'll need a dedicated water line and a proper electrical outlet, typically a 120-volt, 15-amp circuit. If you're not comfortable setting up a water line or you don't have the room for a full-size unit, the hidden trade-off is a lot of space and a modest increase in your utility bill. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that actually matter after the box is opened. The first thing most owners notice is the consistency of the nugget size. Manitowoc's commercial-grade refrigeration system keeps the ice at a uniform chewiness, so you don't end up with a mix of big chunks and tiny slush. That matters if you're using the ice for a smoothie. The nuggets blend smoothly without turning the drink into a frothy mess. Another strong point is the integrated water dispenser. It's not just a cold tap, it offers a steady flow that can fill a large pitcher in under a minute, which is handy when you're prepping for a party and need both water and ice on hand. The machine also runs fairly quietly for its size. While a commercial unit can hum, it doesn't sound like a truck engine. Most users report it's just a low, steady whir that fades into the background. There are a few practical weaknesses to keep in mind, though. Because the unit relies on a water line, any hiccup in water pressure can affect ice production. In homes with older plumbing, you might notice slower output or occasional hiccups where the machine pauses to repressurize. The first 24-hour cycle can also be a little longer than advertised. In real-world tests, it often takes closer to 90 minutes to fill the bin from empty, which is fine once you get into a rhythm, but it's something to consider if you need a sudden surge of ice. Cleaning is another area where the machine demands attention. Nugget ice makers accumulate a thin film of mineral deposits over time, and while Manitowoc includes a self-clean cycle, you still need to run a vinegar water rinse periodically to keep the taste neutral. Skipping that maintenance can lead to a slightly metallic flavor that some users find off-putting. One subtle advantage that's easy to overlook is the durability of the refrigeration system. Manitowoc is a brand with a legacy in commercial ice equipment, and that pedigree translates into a compressor that's designed for continuous operation. If you compare it to a typical countertop unit that's meant for occasional weekend use, the CNF 0202A is built to handle a daily output without wearing out after a year or two. That longevity is part of the